So tell me about how it all began and why.
I was looking on Facebook, as you normally do as a mum, sort of quiet times, and I noticed the channel Mum. Looked at that and I was amazed by how much there's obviously social media on different things about motherhood, and families and children, and I kind of thought, actually, it's quite interesting because if our experiences are totally different, but we are very similar people as well, I think, aren't we? And we discussed it with ourselves to kind of think about actually maybe
making our own channel. I had previously done some vlogging, so when Mel was talking to me about it, I got really excited and was like, yes, let's do it together.
There was me kind of being quite nervous.
Yeah, let's do it together and see how it goes, and actually we really love doing it, didn't we? And yeah, we just decided that if we talk about our experiences and, you know, things that we do, then we might be able to help some other mums out there, because there are a lot of negative feelings that can come with being, like, obviously being a mum's amazing, but there's obviously some
taboo subjects. There's a lot. I mean, postnatal depression, the one we done a little while ago. I mean, if you don't realise how common it really is, and especially suffering. The first time I ever suffered with it, I never kind of realised what it was, and I felt so ashamed. Really did, and I think that's, and I think a lot of mums feel that way, and then you realise when you open up about it, which is the best way to help yourself. You realise actually it's quite so common, and there's a lot of people that I didn't know had it as well, and suffered with it in different ways.
I think a lot of times when mums get it, they feel it's to do with their ability to be a mum, and actually it's not at all. It's a chemical imbalance, hormones, and that is it. It's, you know, it's nothing to do with how you are as a mum or anything. I think more people need to realise that to help them, you know, get through it. Yeah,
you do feel like you're a failure as such, and you shouldn't feel this way. You know, it's such a special time, and I think that's what people may think of it. And I think when you realise like our different experiences with it, and people watching it, like a couple of our friends had said, "I'm so glad you talked about something like that," and it's really nice to know that it helps other people.
I had someone contact me and say, I'm so glad that you did this video, you're really brave to have said that. I would feel absolutely horrified if anyone knew how lonely and upset I'd felt when they were going through it. So it was really lovely to hear that from someone else, you know, that they were resonating with it, and that, you know, it was helping, you know, so it would help other people who were going through it.
So with the channel, is it, you know, lots of different things about being a mum, or do you focus on antenatal depression, or is that just a video you've recently done?
We've done recently. It's going to be about everything. Most of the time we're going to sort of touch on issues that mums have, but also we're going to throw in some fun ones in there, like what's in my changing bag, not hold back on the gross crumbs at the bottom, you know.
Finding out what you've actually got in there and realising that I shouldn't have kept that in there.
No, I had to go through my bag the other day.
Look what the children are putting.
You had to go through my bag the other day, didn't you, to find something? And
I was so shocked.
Yeah, she was like, I was in my bag, rapid, and God knows where.
There's loads of receipts. I was like, oh my God, Annalise, you're so sort of like organised. Yet that isn't.
No, the zip does up and it looks lovely and neat, but underneath it all, no, it's a mess.
You watch Friends, like Monica with her secret cupboard. So why did you decide to focus on the antenatal depression as your like recent one?
That was our first ever one.
That was your first one?
No, it wasn't. We'd done a little bit on the first one, but I think it was
we touched base on the first one, but most recently we did that because with my fourth baby who's in the kitchen, I had postnatal depression for the first time, so it's really recent for me. And I'd just come to terms with it and just started to feel better in myself, so we decided, okay, now that I feel confident, you know, to talk about it, let's do it and let's help other people and let's get out there. Mel suffered with it twice, haven't you?
I suffered with it twice, and obviously...
So she and Dad handed it.
Great.
So can you each separately tell me about your own experiences with it? Who wants to start?
Do you want to go first?
No, that's absolutely fine. First time round, I I didn't realise I was suffering with postnatal depression. It wasn't till my dad, I was speaking on the phone, had said that my mum had suffered with all of their children. So it kind of, I think he saw some symptoms that were there. I did feel like I couldn't do it. I was like, I can't be a mum. I can't do this. So we went to the doctors, and he did think it was possibly just the blues. So they put me on a course of tablets, and then a month later they thought, because if I was getting so better, to take me off them, and it became worse.
Oh, okay.
I'd even drove myself to A&E thinking I was having a heart attack.
Oh no, oh God.
So yeah, it's so strange. The symptoms that I had wasn't always to do with, obviously I did feel alone, because if I was living in Norwich, my family were in Lowestoft, and I didn't have that sort of network, and I didn't, at that time in my life, I didn't really think I'll go to baby groups, and I just felt like I'm too young to do this. I don't feel, even though I wasn't very young at all. And I think the main thing was that the panic attacks I was experiencing, anxiety a lot. Obviously, driving myself to A&E thinking you're having a heart attack is quite a major thing, and they then said to me that I think you need to go back to your GP. So that was the main kind of significant point, that realisation that I did have obviously postnatal depression.
And was it the first time you'd kind of suffered?
This was the first time.
When was that?
In 2010. So quite a few years ago now.
Yeah.
Second time round, I felt much better in my pregnancy. I did suffer with what I didn't realise was hyperemesis. Only recently found out it was hyperemesis in this pregnancy. So I was quite ill at first. But I found, because if I'd made friends around here, I'd moved to this area. My daughter was then going to nursery. I felt much. I thought, no, I'm not going to get it. I'm definitely going to be fine.
Different situation.
Yeah, different situation. Yeah. I don't feel alone as much as I did before. But I had a very traumatic birth with my daughter, which it normal kind of, it was so quick. But unfortunately, I hemorrhaged, and my daughter stopped breathing at the same time. So that in itself was so traumatic for me, because if I didn't know what was going on with myself and my baby. To that instant, the next day I had a mental health liaison officer come round, which sounds like, oh my God, they're going to put me in a cell or something. But they could see that I was suffering with panic attacks and anxiety, and was stressing out, and I went on a course straight away.
Yeah.
So, and I really didn't think that I'd ever need it, and I was on it quite a long time. Compared to the first time round, I was like on tablets for about a year. Second time round was just over 2.
Okay.
So it's, but I never felt as bad as I did really with the first time round, because if I wasn't
alone.
Yeah, I wasn't alone. I had a lot of friends that were near me. It helps so much.
That's interesting. It was different.
Yeah.
Both times. Yeah, absolutely.
Third time round, not too sure.
We'll
see.
Hopefully.
Yeah. It's one of those things that sort of like, it's in the back of your mind. It always is. It always is kind of there, thinking, am I going to cope as well as I did before? Am I going to need something to help me through what's going to happen? Because this time round I've got more probably going on than I did ever before with this pregnancy, so I think it's kind of one of those things that's lingering in the back of my mind, whether that will happen again.
Something you keep your eye on.
Yeah, the midwives are brilliant, because if both times round, they the second time round, obviously they said that we'll keep an eye on you, it's not going to be 100% that you'll ever get it again, but they'll keep an eye on to make sure that if it does, they'll do it straight away.
Yeah.
And again, they've done it this time round, so I think the midwifery teams are really brilliant around this area. I find that it's much more, you feel relaxed, because if they're not, it's not just you that are keeping an eye on it, it's some other people as well.
And kind of on that thread, do you feel kind of, is it supposed to be your third pregnancy?
Yes.
Yep, that's fine. Do you feel this time around you're more aware or more prepared for if you do suffer? Or not? It's okay, don't.